Gusto mo yan?
Yes.
Tell
And the
all.
podcast will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, palakpakan lahat ng tao dito sa studio at pati kayo sa mga bahay-bahay ninyo. Ma Wie Wawie.
Yes.
Hala, fake yung palakpakan.
Dami!
Authentic ang studio audience natin.
Oo, totoo, dami. Thank you po, mga 10,000 po yung mga tao sa labas. Arena, thank you so much.
You know what? Maraming salamat for being here.
Uy.
I really appreciate it. And shout out to your husband, kay Ryan, dahil sa inyong dinalang surprise para sa amin.
Para talaga sa inyo yan, syempre. From the heart. Nakanang!
Let's talk about that nakanang kasi itong pandemic, ang daming people na ang nagbi-business.
True.
Diba? Maraming nawalan ng trabaho. Pero maliban doon, marami rin ang pumapasok sa negosyo at nadidiscover nila yung kanilang hidden talent.
True.
Ano ang pinasok nyo mag-asawa?
Bukod sa...
Ay!
Ano na kami? Alam mo, may backstory yan. May backstory ng konting-konti lang naman.
Okay.
Taong kali kasi kami pareha sa Pilipinas. Nag-UST ako. Siya may sariling college siya sa Pilipinas.
So, uste. Oh my God, Espanya ang
Go
tambayan.
Uste!
Yes.
Yes, go Uste. Nag-UST ako for a year lang naman bago kami nag-move dito. But
Right.
still, pwede kong sabihin na talagang
Okay,
nag-Uste.
yeah.
But anyway, yun nga, kumbaga taong kali kaming lumaki.
Right.
So gusto namin yung ganong life kasi meron kaming parang mga nami-miss.
Correct.
And because I'm the biggest fan of my husband's cooking, in-encourage ko siya na i-push natin to.
And yung natin to, talk about that.
So, we have Tatay Rai.
Tatay Rai for Ryan.
Rai for Ryan, not
Okay.
Ri.
Okay.
May nagsasabi kasi Tatay Ri
Tatay
eh.
Ri.
Oo,
Meron kaming guest.
Rai.
Ang pangalan niya, ang last name niya, artista siya, nag-guest siya sa amin. Hindi Rai. Pero UY, anong basa mo doon?
Yuri.
Hindi, UY.
Uy.
Uy, di ba?
Oo.
Pero hindi. Ang pronunciation pag dito sa States, we.
Vietnamese yung style. Parang
Oh, really?
wee-twee, ganon.
Oh.
Wee-twee. Wow, Vietnamese style.
Aba,
May secret na letter na hindi natin nakikita. May extra letter.
May ibang dimension yung letter
Correct.
na yun.
May hyphen somewhere na hidden.
Yes. Okay, si Tatay Rai.
So yun nga, since I'm the biggest fan of my husband's cooking, parang sabi ko, push natin tong business na to.
Right.
It all started, nag-uusap lang kaming pamilya.
Yeah.
And then,
Pamilya meaning ikaw, si Rai.
Ryan ako and then his siblings.
Okay.
Tsaka mom niya nandun din.
Right.
Nag-uusap lang kami and then we posted a photo online to see if it's gonna click. That one photo turned into a business.
Wow.
So it was an overnight business kind
So
of.
what business was this?
This is the mani.
Mani.
Tatay rice nuts na mas masarap pa sa mani ng ex mo. That is the slogan. Tatay rice nuts na mas masarap pa sa mani ng ex mo.
Yun naman pala eh.
Yes.
Itong nuts ni Tatay Rai, amoy bawang ba to?
Lasang bawang. Pero kasi, ang pinagmamalaki ko dyan, yung mani namin, pink. Mani namin, pink. Minsan pula. May pula, nakita mo naman kanina.
Nakita mo kanina yung pula.
May pula. Pero yung malaking mani, pink.
Oh, yun. Pero hindi ko nakita yung basang mani.
Hindi, may mani kaming hubad.
Oh.
Yun naman, golden yun kasi hubad na nga. May mani kaming hubad.
So, click na click yung mani na yan.
And then from that mani, dati na naming sideline, nagbebenta kami ng street food, yung isaw,
Yes.
barbecue.
Yeah.
Sideline na namin yan noon pa. Actually, sideline niya noon pa. Ngayon lang talaga pandemic.
Yeah.
So, diniskartehan na namin, pinackage namin ng maayos. Kasi syempre, street food na nga eh.
Yeah.
Bababuyin mo pa yung pagbigay sa tao.
Kailangan
So,
at least maayos.
bigay natin ng
By
maayos
the way,
sa tao.
natikman namin ni Michael Abad, nagpinagluto kami ni Tatay Rai dito sa Paco's Place, sa gazebo. And ang sarap.
Talaga ba? Sarap.
Nasira yung aking diet kasi nag-workout ako bago kayo dumating.
Anong favorite part mo doon?
Yung barbecue, alam mo, okay, pag-usapan natin yung barbecue, no? Guys, by the way, hingin natin yung link, ilalagay natin sa description para pwede kayo umorder pag pinanood nyo to. Pero yung barbecue, andun yung tamis nung sauce.
May sarili siyang mundo, no?
Oo.
May sarili siyang mundo.
Babalik ka sa Pilipinas eh.
That's the point. That's the whole point of it all. Kasi, marami kang mabibili dito. Marami kang choices ng pagkain dito.
Right.
Maraming gumagawa. But his food, his cooking, really brings you back home.
Yun na nga.
Yun yung point nung buong sitwasyon.
Delikado sa taong walang papel yung pagkain ni Tatay Ray.
Hirap yan! Hirap yan!
Baka pagkain niya, help! Hindi na ako makabalik ng Amerika.
Baka mahuli tayo dito.
Hindi, pero
but
masarap.
Yeah. That's the whole point.
Pati yung isaw, gusto ko yung crunchy sunog, yung charred.
Char. Yan. Gusto mo yung char?
Masarap.
Masarap. Ayoko kasi ng isaw na malansa. Yun ang ayoko.
Kahit maning malansa, hindi rin masarap.
Mahirap pa kasi pag yung mani yung malansa.
Yes.
Mahirap yun.
Yes.
So, nililinis talaga namin.
Dapat.
Yung ganon. I mean, it is intestine. So, inevitable
So wala akong nalasahan, di ba laman loob yan eh, di ba? Bituka yan, pero lasang karne.
Yun ang favorite part ko naman doon. Malinis.
Now, nung nasa gazebo tayo, kinikwento mo sa amin dalawa ni Jaja na kayong dalawa ni Rai, pareho yung ginagawa to sa kusina, pero
correct. May sarili-sarili kaming
mundo.
Stations. Oo, may sarili. So, clock in namin. Siyempre, mommy and daddy mode muna kami in the morning. We have 3 kids and baby pa yung bunso.
Ayan.
So, homeschool.
Right.
It's a benefit that we're both home.
Yes.
Pero at the same time, it's not good din kasi busy. Lahat
Right.
busy. So, morning, magka-clock in kami parehas. Pagdating ng lunch, magka-clock out kami. Pero nasa sarili kaming bahay. Kasi may kanya-kanya kaming pwesto.
Okay, Maui, kwento natin yon because people think that when you're doing this at home, you have to have a certain discipline. Sometimes, dahil walang nagbabantay sa inyo kundi sarili nyo, yung disiplina nyo has to be really precision-based na disiplina. Tama ba?
Let's get it right. Kasi before we started our business, malaki kami ni Ryan. We really gained weight.
Okay.
We were couch potatoes. Naubos namin lahat ng pelikula sa Netflix, lahat ng Tagalog, lahat ng action, lahat ng everything na ubos naming lahat. And then one night, nung nag-turn around nga, nag-busy kami parehas. Nung nag-busy kami parehas, parang, wow, nakakalimutan na natin kumain. Nakakalimutan na natin yung kumbaga, ang focus lang is either mga bata or
yung business.
Yun lang. So parang, we have to find the middle ground kung saan tayo mag-meet dito sa business na to. Kasi, hindi pwedeng business lang eh. We're a family.
Yeah.
It's a benefit that we can do this at home and we're working from home. But you have to have the discipline talaga.
Right.
If not, lalaki ka, Imagine working with your partner, living with your partner 24/7, it's the same face.
So ano pinag-uusapan niyo pag matutulog na kayo?
Ay, wala na. Ano na lang kami, yung labing-labing na lang, usap-usap pa.
Wala nang, ay naku, ang dami natin tinusok na barbecue. Wala nang ganon.
Tusukin mo na lang ako. Ako naman tusukin niya.
Ako na ang barbecue.
Ako naman.
Okay.
My turn. Ganon.
Now, some people know, but some people may not know. The reason why you're this funny is because you also do stand-up comedy.
Yes, I did it for many years. Kumbaga natagpas natin yung mga local Filipino karaoke locations here in Southern California. Fortunate naman tayo that we went dun sa route na yon. I was originally just a singer, pero natuto na rin tayo kasi naging friends natin yung mga komedyante.
Okay, so you did not do improv. Hindi ka aral sa improv.
Hindi.
You picked up on improv.
Kasi na-out
of place ka.
No, nabablast ako.
Ay, ikaw yung balagoong.
Oo, nabablast nila ako na parang, Tatayo na lang tayo dito, te. Yung ganon, parang, hindi pa pwedeng cute lang ako. Hindi, kailangan may entry ka. Hindi ka pwedeng magbabae lang. Kasi I worked with the gays.
Yes.
Mga kaibigan.
And they're loud. They're nice and loud.
Yeah, and I love it. That's the reason why I did it for many years. Hindi ka pwedeng singer lang. Hindi ka pwedeng pupunta ka rito, ganda ka lang. Hindi.
Kakainin ka nila ng buhay.
Lamon. O, kaya kailangan may entry ka.
So, anong ginawa mo? Like, okay, so, yan yung scenario, akala mo kakanta ka lang. Tapos eto na, may dalawa kang kasamang gay o isa lang?
3.
3 gay, ikaw lang ang girl.
Ako lang, 100%.
So feeling mo, kaya mo dalhin to dahil, teka muna, ako lang ang babae rito, kaya ko tong 3 to.
Pakitaan ng legs, gandang babae talaga.
But they had other plans.
Oo.
Okay, ano nangyari?
Pagpapiestahan nila ako pagka hindi ako sumagot. And then, let's talk about Kaliwok.
Yes.
Because I was honed in Kaliwok.
Yes. And that's a nice place, no? Sayang, no?
I miss the hype of Kaliwok.
Yeah.
Pero to go back,
oh, you're fine.
I'm good. I'm good.
Close the book.
Move on tayo, te.
Okay.
Move on tayo dun sa ano na yun. Pero while it lasted, it was really the best period of our lives. So going back to Kaliwok, I was the original host of Kaliwok. They were just gonna do a lounge type of place.
Oh my God, imagine ko, lounge type of place. So feeling mo kakanta ka ng mga malabasya, mga...
Ay, feeling ko talaga ganun. Diba? Nakaupo lang ako sa stool, City Navarro, ganun lang. Magpapaganda lang ako. Sexy lang na, alam mo yun?
Carry lang, in other words.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, ang kasabayan ng mga ibang restaurant, talagang boom, 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 komedyante. So parang it wasn't working out. And I was throwing jokes left and right from a book. So parang, shit flop. Wale, si Bakle, wale.
Hindi ka pa ganyan magsalita. Wala ka pang gay speak nung time na yun.
No.
Wala ka pa mga chuvanes, chuchu ever.
100% woman.
Okay.
Babae lang talaga. Sobrang ganon. And then, Joseph Gelito.
Oh my God.
Was the second host after me. I've known Joseph even prior to Kaliwok.
Right.
As a friend.
Yeah.
Tapos, soon after was Kasha and then soon after, parang thereafter was Justine. Pero, hindi pa rin talaga ako komedyante nun. And then the best part of Kaliwok was not the show itself. The after. That was the best part. So,
because kwentuhan kayo after.
Bonding. So matatapos ang Kaliwok, I wanna say last call was like 1:30, 2 a.m. Uwi kami 4, 5.
Wow.
Chikahan lang ng umaatikabo. And then they would tell me na magbabato kami, sumagot ka. Kasi yun ang nakakatawa. Kasi saan ka nakakita ng babae na marunong mag-rebuttal?
I know. Kasi normally, babae nabubuli na ng bakla.
Exactly. Lamon na lamon.
Yeah.
Sumagot ka.
Right.
And then that's how it started na marunong natututo.
So actually, ang ganda rin na binigyan kanila ng consent to really roll up your sleeves and play.
Let me, you do you.
Okay.
Ganon. And then there was no me. There was no identity. And then Ryan talked to me before.
Ryan, si Tatay Ray.
Tatay Ryan talked to me and he said, you have to find the fine line between you being a woman and then them being gay. Kasi there came a point na tinatanong, si Wawie ba yung bakla? Parang, hindi po. Babae po ako talaga. Hindi. Bakla yan eh.
Because you were doing a good job being gay.
I guess I blended really well. Pero yun nga, sabi niya, hanapin mo yung middle ground nung...
Baka naman si Ryan, babae ba itong asawa ko talaga?
Na-question niya rin yun for a little bit. Kaya check niya, nightly. Charot!
Parang, alam mo yung joke, magkasama yung mag-shota, di ba? Sabi nung girl dun sa guy, pagkatapos sila mag-sex, sabi nung girl, sabi nung guy, anong nasa isip mo? Sabi nung girl, wala lang, may aaminin ako sa'yo. Sabi nung guy, ano yun? Sabi nung girl, dati Christian ako. Sabi nung guy, okay lang. Tanggap ko naman kahit ano pa religion mo.
Oo, no big deal.
Hindi, sabi nung girl. Hindi.
Dati, Christian ako.
Si Mike ba tumatawa rin dyan?
Patingin. Tingin nga tubig, nakakatawa.
Okay, so
Pabato.
let's go back to you. Let's go back to you, no. Yung Cali walk and hanging out with Sina Joseph and all that. How did it shape you and your outlook toward our society, how it is here in the States?
They weren't really a tool anyways kasi my belief in the LGBT community, they're human beings.
Amen.
They exist.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Yes.
So,
Kumbaga, you saw past that.
there was no that. There was no such thing as that.
Thank you.
I mean, what is gender? I mean, it's a human being. So, honestly, who the fuck cares?
Yes.
Honestly. I mean, what... and even Ryan and I talked about it because I have to set it straight with my husband. What if there will come a time that we're going to have children and then one of our children turns out to be gay, bisexual, whatever preference it be. You know, I don't really,
Yes.
it doesn't really matter. Pero pinag-usapan yan. Sabi ko sa kanya, our firstborn's a boy.
Right. Si Garrett.
Garrett, yeah. So sabi ko sa kanya, what if Garrett turns out to be gay and then he comes out and sasabihin niya sa tatay niya, tatay, lalaki talaga ang gusto ko.
Right.
Sabi ko sa kanya, how would you feel? Sabi sa akin ni Tatay Rai, well, simulan na natin, mag-invest na tayo sa kanya pag cosmetology natin siya.
Exactly.
Para, you know, kasi doon sila magaling eh. You know, the arts, they're really
Pareho
good.
kami na sinabi ni Tatay Rai. That's what I said, na whatever my kids want to do, as long as it's legal, I really don't care.
Yeah, and really, kumbaga, like I said kanina, what is gender? It's just your preference.
Right.
It's not, I mean, I'm sorry for, you know, for the non-believers.
Right.
But for me, which is, it's just, there's no that.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Now, you said you have 3 kids and baby pa yung bunso.
Yes.
How is this pandemic? By the way, we're taping this during the pandemic. Hopefully magkakaroon na ng vaccine soon. But how are you guys coping up?
It's hard for us kasi our first 2, they're very exposed. So when
Exposed to the virus? Hindi.
they're exposed sa tao.
Okay.
So
sanay sila ng ano.
So when Garrett was a baby, parang nagpe-perform ako noon sa Kaliwok pa eh.
Kasama siya.
So nandyan lang siya sa gilid, sanay siya sa limelight, microphone was a toy. So kung kumakanta ako, kumakanta rin siya. So parang, whatever. And then, Budang came around, nag-slow down na ako sa Kaliwok, but still.
Budang's your middle child.
Yes. Middle child, pero nagpa-perform pa ako private events.
Pero
Still,
kahit buntis ka, nagpa-perform ka pa rin, di ba?
Yes,
Tuloy-tuloy
I did. Oo.
Tuloy-tuloy ang rocket ship mo nun.
ang tawag dun sa mga damit, anong tawag dun?
Midriff?
Parang, baby doll yata yung tawag ng mga, yung mga bakla, kung ano pinagpapasuot sa akin. Hanggang dito yung waistline. Tapos, parang flowy na yung baba. So, hindi talaga kitang buntis ako until I was really buntis. Kasi my face was...
hindi lumapad yung mukha mo.
Hindi. For Garrett ha. Ngayon, ibang kwento na ngayon. Ngayon, iba na yun eh. Pero nung kay Garrett, talagang, wang kata.
Okay.
Pero, how is this affecting me now? So my baby, with the third one, I suffered from many illnesses and ailments after I had her. I suffered from preeclampsia.
Okay, ano yun?
Preeclampsia is a condition where your blood pressure just shoots up.
For no reason?
For no reason due to hormones, pregnancy, and whatever. Unfortunately for me, hindi na-detect agad kasi the whole pregnancy was fine.
Okay.
It was fine. Nanganak na ako.
Nung nalaman nila?
Nung nangyari sa akin yung episode. 4 days after kong nanganak, nag-shoot up yung blood pressure ko. All of a sudden, sabi ko, my headache is not stopping. Parang non-stop siya talaga.
At hindi siya migraine?
Hindi siya migraine. Tinailenol ko lahat. Tinulog lahat. Pero wala. Tapos, my mom is an ICU nurse. Sabi niya, pa-check ka na sa ER. Pa-check ako sa ER, but I was in denial. Kasi nurse din ako. And then parang, kaya ko to.
Right.
Pagdating ko ng ER, 8th day after kong nanganak. So imagine the 4 days that I was in distress at home with a newborn.
Yeah.
Parang, kaya ko to. Pero the 8th day, yun na, shoot up na talaga siya ng almost 200. And
Wow!
then
Pwede ka ma-stroke dun.
Yes. And I was like so rigid.
Yeah.
Kasi everything was parang nagfa-flashback na yung buhay ko eh. Nung time na yun.
Oh my God.
So, only Ryan was with me in the hospital. Pero I was crying kasi I was panicking. So at the same time, as I was going through preeclampsia, I was also suffering from postpartum anxiety.
Yun.
And I was also having postpartum depression. I didn't
Sabay-sabay.
I really didn't know anything about it. Then the pandemic hit.
O magkakasunod pala lahat, no?
Right. So, talagang lugmok talaga yung, like, yurak.
Yeah.
Yung nangyari dun sa akin sa time na yun. And no one understands depression and anxiety until you actually experience it. And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Right.
Kasi you look physically fine.
Right.
But your mind is elsewhere.
Let's talk about that. What goes on in your head?
It was really dark.
Were you suicidal?
No naman. But then I couldn't find happiness. My serotonin, which is the happy
The
hormone, I couldn't find it talaga.
So, pagkagising mo sa umaga, ang bigat.
Ang bigat, cry mode. Cry siya. Tapos, I couldn't cry in front of my kids kasi iniisip nila, kasalanan ng tatay nila. So, yung mga anak ko, parang, ano na naman ginawa sa'yo ni tatay?
Right.
When in fact, it was just me.
So you wake up, and the reason why I want to talk about this, someone close to me had suicidal tendencies because of depression.
It's hard.
And buti na lang nagkaroon ng intervention and we were able to
Step in.
But then, syempre, hindi ko na siya matanong ng what's really going on inside your head.
Sometimes there isn't really anything that's going on inside your head.
So maybe it's the emptiness that is bothering.
It's extremes for it. It depends on it's person based.
Right.
Like at the moment for me, I couldn't find the happiness in seeing my child. I couldn't find it within me to be happy. Like he would do efforts for me to smile. He would do things for me to get out of the house. Hindi pa to March, ha? Hindi pa to super duper COVID. Wala pa sa Amerika. Nasa Italy pa lang yata.
Yeah.
So may effort siya for me to go out. My mom and my dad, his side of the family, they were really very supportive kasi they knew. Only they knew. And then my brother and his family, everyone, parang they were involved.
Right.
And they tried. Pero wala talaga akong mahanap. And I am nothing against people who are anti-medication, but I needed medication. I needed to take the pills for me to be sane.
Correct.
If not, I would have gone downhill. It was really difficult. And the adjustment of the pills or the medication, it was a hard process.
Pero ang galing, you knew you were depressed.
I didn't.
You did not?
I didn't.
How?
It was in the hospital. The nurses talked to me and she said to me, "You haven't stopped crying since you got here." And I didn't really realize that until she called it out. I didn't know. Kasi mag-isa na ako, nung na-readmit ako ha, kasi may newborn na ako
Yeah.
So hindi pwede yung newborn sa
So in
hospital.
other words, check out and then na-readmit ka for this.
Right. So dinadala lang yung bata sa akin during the day para mag-breastfeed ako.
Correct.
Tapos iuuwi din ni Ryan. So
Right.
mag-isa na ako doon at night.
So,
and then the
iba
nurse,
yun.
right, and the nurses called me out. At that time, what was in my head, I said, well, no one's looking for me right now. They're okay. They're living their life. My baby doesn't need me apparently because I'm here. She's over there. So who needs me? So that's what's going on in my mind. I was
Wow.
in the hospital for 4 days thinking every night alone, no one needs you, Maui. You're
Wow.
better off gone.
So yung boses na yun, nandun talaga, yung negative voice talaga.
Yes,
na,
it was. That's why I wasn't suicidal like I was gonna do something about
pero
it.
may boses talaga na condescending sa utak mo, talagang bringing you...
Yeah, and I told, this is funny because I told one of the nurses, sabi ko, why am I crying so much? I'm a comedian. I make people laugh. I make people smile. That's my job. Tapos, sabi niya, it's your hormones. You just have to acknowledge it. And I didn't. Sabi ko, no. There must be something about it. And yun, I was started on it.
Wow.
Yes.
Grabe, no? Anyway, tuloy natin yung kwentuhan na yan dahil gusto ko malaman pa ang mga bagay-bagay na yan when we come back after this short word from our sponsor. So now, bago tayo mag-break, we were talking about
What I went through.
What you went through kasama ang depression
Yes.
and all that. How were you able to get out of it?
So, unfortunately, it's part of my pregnancies. My second child, I had a
So naibalik mo na, oh my God, tuwing manganganak ako.
No. With my first child, I was very busy with him.
Yeah.
And immediately after kong manganak, parang a month pa lang, bumalik na ako magkaliwalk.
Right.
So during the dark phase, during the night.
So may dark face talaga?
No, supposedly, during the dark phase, during the nighttime, I was performing.
Correct.
So
Hindi mo napapansin?
I didn't realize. So with my second child, nag-slow down na ako ng kaliwalk.
Yeah.
So parang 1 or 2 nights na lang, whatever. Pero hindi na as active as it was before.
So yung mga off nights, may napapansin ka na?
Yeah. So this is kind of a sad story. It really hits home kasi that was my telltale that there was something wrong. So I was breastfeeding and I couldn't really console my child. This was like in the middle of the night. She was about 2 months old at the time. And then was breastfeeding tapos hindi ko siya mapatahimik.
Umiiyak?
Oo, kasi madaling araw gusto niya
Yeah.
ng something, hindi ko siya mapatahimik. And then sabi ko, out of nowhere, sabi ko kay Ryan, ilayo mo tong batang to, itatapon ko to.
Wow.
It just came out of my mouth.
Ano sabi ni Ryan?
Tapon kita dyan. Sabi niya sa akin pabalik. And then hindi ko siya na-realize. Hindi siya walang click.
Walang snap na, oh shoot.
Wala.
So you were still in that state?
Gusto ko talagang literal na itapon yung bata. Not tapon basurahan. I meant tapon inodoro. That
Right.
was what I
Parang
wanted.
get rid.
Yes. I think my symptoms was leaning more towards my children.
Yes.
So parang hindi ako nag-hate sa sarili ko. It was more of sa kanila. Hindi ko talaga sila Even with my first child, it took me a long time. Alam mo yung sa mga movie, pag nilagay sa'yo yung bata, may tear, ganyan, hindi ko talaga magawa. Wala talaga.
It was more what? Oh, wow.
Hindi ganong feeling. But
Or wala lang?
Wala. Umiri ako ng bata. That was it. It took me a long time bago ko maano yung ma-like yung anak ko. It took me a long time.
Pero nung nag-imprint na sa'yo yung mga anak mo, wala na forever in love?
Unang-una, yung panganay ko, kamukhang-kamukha nung asawa ko. So parang, I guess I have to like you. Yung ganon. And then my second child, parang okay, wala siyang kamukha. Hindi ko siya kamukha. Hindi siya direktang kamukha ni Ryan. Parang, okay, whatever. Parang ganon. And then my last one, kamukha ng nanay ko. And nung buntis ako, ay naaway ko talaga yung nanay ko ng nans. I guess pinaglihihan ko yata si mami ko nung buntis ako. But yeah, yung tear, I was waiting for that feeling. Yung sa mga movie na parang, oh, my child, ganyan. Wala talaga. Wala. Parang, okay. Nanganak ako. Kunin nyo na. Pagod ako. Tulog ako. Yung ganon. Tulog ako. Kasi diba, after mong manganak,
yung
skin to skin ang agad
Yes.
So parang, ewan ko ako lang siguro to. Parang, guys,
normal delivery to
Yes.
Kasi si Jaja nung nanganak, nakita ko yung mga bitu-bituka niya, parang hanggang hindi ko
Grabe naman siya sa bituka.
Hindi kasi C-section
okay. Sabi ko saan galing yung bituka.
I know. So hindi dapat ako tumingin. Napatingin ako dahil nung lumabas si Cassidy, ang pangit-pangit So gusto ko sabihin, sabi niya,
mukha siyang tutang basa.
Oo, sabi niya, maganda ba? Sabi ko, ang pangit. Tapos pagkita ko, yung bitu-bituka ni Jaja, parang, oh my God, si Cassidy.
Hindi mo matatanggal sa utak mo yon.
Pero ang gandang-ganda ako sa anak ko. Pero nung pinanganak yun, oh my God.
Para siyang basang sisiyo.
Yes.
Tutang basa naman ako.
Ganon din yun.
Basang sisiyo. Yeah. Pero yun nga, but I had 17 hours of labor, 10 hours, and then another 10 hours for each of my children. So it was a long labor.
Right.
So parang sa akin, And then typically here in the States, I don't know if it's a common practice elsewhere or in the world, but here, after mo manganak, immediately after nilang mapunasan na ganyan,
Sa'yo.
bibigay sa'yo agad skin,
Yeah,
to
skin to
skin.
skin.
Literally, in my head, guys, pagod ako.
Papahingahin niyo ako, di ba? Parang ganun.
Oh, give me, 2 minutes lang.
Ito,
Parang
tanong.
ganun.
Bakit ka nag-anak ng 3?
Okay. So, Ryan came from a big family. He came
So,
from...
pakana ni Ryan lahat to.
Ako rin, syempre. Pumikit ako eh. But yeah, so I only have one brother. So
Okay.
I have one sibling who he's my baby.
Okay.
Naku, pag nanonood may baby. Naku. No, pero he's alam mo yun, siya forever and a day, siya talaga yung,
Right.
kasangga ko talaga.
Yes, kayong dalawa lang eh.
Wala kaming choice. I love him, I hate him, he's the only one I got.
Yeah.
He, though, came from an immediate family of 6.
Wow.
Tapos, meron pang after.
Okay.
Meron pang
Wait,
9.
pag sinabi mong after, may iba pa.
Oh,
Okay.
sipag yung tatay niya eh. So, parang,
Sandali, 9 total o meron pang 9?
meron pang 9.
Maliban sa 6?
Maliban sa 6.
Seryoso to, Ray?
Oo.
Oh my God.
Oo.
15?
Oo.
Wow. Reveal ba kayo?
Felipe.
Kasi di ba si Ramon Revilla,
Oo.
ang daming anak?
Oo. Matinik si Monching eh.
Yun na,
Iba si
yun na.
Monching eh.
Okay, teka. So 6 and 9.
So,
Close silang lahat?
6. The 6.
The 6 ang close.
Oo. They are, first time nilang nagsama-sama after a long time. Kasi kanya-kanyang bansa na eh. Pero sila dito sa US, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dito
Right.
sila sa US. Tapos may 2 sa Pilipinas. Pero 2 years ago, nagsama-sama sila. And that
Okay.
was the first time na nakita ko yung 6 together. Ako galing ako sa iisa lang. So parang may inggit na
Yeah.
parang gusto ko din yan.
Yes.
Alay ko. Parang
Yes,
gano'n.
yes.
Parang gusto ko yung kaguluhan
Yes,
ng...
masarap.
Right.
6 din kami magkakapatid.
Ayun, so,
Yeah, magulo, masarap.
yung ulam daw, yung
Yeah.
pinag-uusapan nila na yung ulam nila, yun na lang, tapos kanya-kanyang kamay, na
Aha.
gano'n. So, kanya-kanya silang kwento na, parang kami ng kapatid ko, ang daming ulam sa amin. Hindi na uubos kasi 2 lang kaming kakain. Yung lechon manok,
I
tig-isa
know.
pa
Oo
kami.
nga, no? Ako, I have 5 kids, ah.
Ang sipag mo din eh.
Yes.
Last na to ha.
Wala. Actually, bago natin ituloy yung storya mo, may side note. Then kasi si Cassidy, sabi ko, okay, puro panganay yan eh. So sabi,
Ginawa mo nga hobby.
yun na nga eh. So sabi ko kay Jaja, baby, gusto ko magkaroon ng bunso. Pagkatapos niya mga anak, sabi ni Jaja, ayoko na.
Last na siya.
Okay na ako. Tama na si Cassidy, may babae ka na.
Bata
okay
pa
na
si
ako.
Jaja.
Bata pa si Jaja. So sabi ko, ang lungkot-lungkot ko nun. So sabi ko, sige, kung ayaw mo mag-anak na lang, since si Jaja may anak sa unang husband niya, so si Jaja, si Tiny, si Geneva, at saka yung mami ni Raiden, lahat sila, naalagaan nila yung mga anak nila. Ako never pa ako nakaalaga ng bata.
Si Cassidy.
E di ito na nga.
Aha.
Kasi, tanaw, si Kaylan, pinalaki ni Tiny yan, di ba?
Right.
So ako, parang daddy lang ako and all that.
Ah.
So sabi ko kay Jaja, ako mag-aalaga kay Cassidy.
And you did.
Ako. So, siya magpapa-breastfeed sa umaga and all that. Pero pagdating ng gabi, tulog ka. Ako
Ay, sana all.
Hindi, ayoko na nga eh. Ito na nga yung punchline ng kwento. Trinay ko lahat yun. Pati palit ng lampen, pati pagtapon nung lagay ng pupu.
Ayan, social nyo, may ganun kayo. Sa amin, basurahan lang eh.
Tapos lahat yun.
Lakad papuntang kitchen
Exactly.
sa amin.
Bili ng Pampers. Ako kumbaga,
tawag na?
lahat. Ako nagpati train kay Cassidy.
Galing.
Alam mo, Mau, nung natapos lahat yan, sabi ni Jaja,
Ano, gusto mo pa?
gusto mo pa? Alam mo, namura ko talaga si Jaja sa Ines. Sabi ko, ano ka? Hindi na ako mag-aanak kahit kailan, no?
Oy, hindi.
Pero
Hindi.
doon ko pala nakita na ang hirap ng ginagawa niyo pala talaga pag nag-aalaga kayo ng baby.
Diba, Felipe? Diba?
Not a joke.
Ano kasi, something I'm very proud of sa tandem naming dalawa. Sabi ko nga sa kanya, long time ago. Kasi maraming hadlang eh. Maraming parang, sabi nila na, short-lived lang yung Ryan Maui face na yan. Hindi magtatagal yan. Joke.
Natagal nyo na.
15 years coming 2021.
Amen. Wow. That's a
Thank
good
you,
time.
God.
Amen.
So, hindi yan, short-lived lang yan. It's just a phase. Kasi, artista pa si Maui nun eh.
Yeah.
Tapos si Ryan, taong kalye. Parang, ano lang yan, it's just a face. And then, you know, ang sarap i-prove sa mga haters na parang, yo, was still here, yo.
Right? Pero sa akin nagkakilala ni ano?
So,
Sa akin nagkakilala ni Ryan, yan.
may ex ako,
Ooh.
yung kuya nun,
Okay. May ex ka,
May
yung
ex
kuya
ako.
ng ex mo.
may ex ako, yung kuya nun, barkada niya. Tawag niya sa amin noon, nila Ryan, nung grupo nila, tawag nila sa amin, Chikiting Patrol.
Sandali.
Rewind mo yan ito yun
Sandali. Okay. So si Ryan,
may tropa.
may tropa. Eh ang katropa niya, kuya ng ex mo. So magkakaroon ng time, para lang sa amin at saka ng mga viewers, kakaroon ng time, nandun ka sa bahay ng ex mo, nandun din si Ryan, and all, magkikita-kita kayo
So
lahat.
magkaibigan na kami from way back. Magkaibigan na kami.
Okay.
So parang small circle, pero hindi namin sila pinapansin kasi under 21 kami. Actually, baliktad. Hindi nila kami pinapansin kasi under 21 kami.
Sa States yan, dito
Oo,
na yan.
oo. Under 21 kami. So tawag nga nila sa amin, Chikiting
Chikiting
Patrol.
Patrol. Okay.
Kasi nga we weren't allowed to do anything. Eh sila nagka-clubbing na sila noon, kung saan-saan na sila umaabot,
Right,
Vegas, whatever. And they looked at us like children.
Right.
So parang, who you?
Ano ba age gap nyo?
3 years. Pero kasi yung mga tropa niya, the mga kuya-kuya,
Older, yeah.
yun yung mga bet niyang,
O tapos naghiwalay kayo ng ex mo.
right. And then years after,
Years after yung buffer niyan.
years after, Nanay Melis came around. Shout out to Tito Jomar, yung mga ganyan, of Nanay Melis. Nanay Melis came around, and Nanay Melis was a mini version of a karaoke place.
Yeah.
It was a small business na pamilya.
Family owned, yeah.
So, pangit nitong kwento na to eh. Okay, so host ako. Okay? Nakaayos, naka-makeup, naligo.
Talagang game.
Oo, host ng Bayan ng Peg.
Okay. Seryoso.
Oo.
Career.
Singer.
Yeah.
Oo, rurok ng
Yes.
ng pagpapaganda.
Right.
May dumating isang tropa galing basketball.
Na hindi man lang nakaayos.
Hindi nakaayos.
Hindi naligo.
Nakapambahay, amoy pawis,
Yeah.
amoy everything, anything. Pero sila yon. So nagkakaasara na sila na,
Maingay pa.
gugulo men, ang gugulo.
Tapos, Manila ang in-order.
Hindi pa yon. Hindi pa yon. So nagpunta sila doon, kakain lang. Hindi
Okay.
nila alam na may karaoke, may
Right,
host, whatever. Or I don't know if they knew. But they went there for, inom.
Inom lang.
Tambay,
Yeah.
ganyan. So, order na sila ganyan. So, nagkakaasaran. And I already knew them. So, parang, uy, what's up? Nandito kayo, ganyan-ganyan. Ako nga pala, you remember me, ganyan. Host na ako dito ngayon, parang ganon. So, nagpapakit pa ako at gandang babae. Pero since kilala ko na sila, parang okay lang. Tapos, siya, nakapambahay. Again, amoy pawis galing basketball.
By the way, guys, if you're listening and watching, si Ryan is in the studio also. So pag nire-refer ni Maui na siya at
Ryan.
nagtuturo, andito si Ryan, okay?
Yes
go.
po. So, Ryan was asked by the group to sing. Okay? And typically, when you're singing in a karaoke, the host interviews you first.
Correct.
Okay? And since kilala ko na siya, I didn't think any of him being on stage. So, tanong ako kunyari ng, so, kumusta ka na? Ganyan, yung mga typical
Yeah.
na tanong ng isang host. Ang ginawa niya sa akin, sabi niya sa akin talaga, ganito may upuan dun sa stage, sabi niya, pakantahin mo na nga lang ako. Ginanan ako.
As in, binara ka talaga.
Oo. Sabi niya sa akin, huwag mo tanong-tanong, pakantahin mo na lang ako.
Siga.
Sabi ko, gwapo mo Alam mo yung, naibier na ako talaga sa kanya ng todo-todo.
Which is by the way, guys, yun ang pick up. Kasi, na-challenge si girl.
Ay, grabe. Na-challenge talaga si
Di ba?
girl. Imbier na
Isipin mo,
si girl.
nakabihis ka, and then, pumasok yung isang taong, wala lang, chill lang, biglang, talk to dad, just let me sing.
Literally. Ganun ang ginawa niya sa akin. Tinaas yung paa niyang ganyan sa stage. Tapos, sabi niya, pakantahin mo na nga lang ako. Huwag mo na ako interviewin. Like, on microphone. Sabi ko, oh my. Binara niya ako.
Aha.
So, labas ako. Walk out.
Parang di wala kung paano ka placing dun sa
Oh,
part na
like,
yun.
naratel talaga ako ng todo-todo. So, you know, di ko na siya kinausap.
The whole night.
The whole night. So, even if he tried to sing again, nilalampasan ko yung pangalan niya. Ako naman bumubunot eh. Huwag mo na ako usapin.
Pero in other words, napansin mo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, for real.
Yeah, so napansin ko siya. Napansin ko. So, mainom nga ako.
Take your time.
Yeah, napansin ko siya.
Classic.
Napainom ako doon. So, yes. Pero hindi ko siya bate. Hindi ko siya bate.
Okay.
Sabi ko talaga sa isip ko nung gabi na yon, huyo ka sa akin.
Kita mo, yun yung kicker nun eh. Naisip mo pa siya. To the point na nabalakan mo pa ng...
Huyo ka sa akin.
Aha.
Don't me, huyo ka sa akin.
Aha.
So that was parang, huwag kang babalik-balik dito, hayop ka. Ganon, ang
Yes.
mentalidad ko talaga. Parang, nakalimutan mo ba magkaibigan tayo? Tapos,
Pero nakalimutan ba niya magkaibigan kayo? Parang no.
I don't know. Did you forget? I don't know.
Ray, nakalimutan mo ba magkaibigan kayo?
Basta challenge daw niya ako. I don't know. It's stylistics.
Okay, tapos?
So, Nanay Melis was like a Friday, Saturday gig. And so Friday, I think that was a Friday. And then parang the next day or the next week or something like that, they came back.
Time out. So Friday, Saturday ka nandun.
Mm-hmm.
Anong pakiramdam mo nung Saturday?
Galit, no, nung night na yun, I don't remember what it was. But that night, mainit talaga yung ulo ko. Sobrang,
Saturday.
whatever night it was, pero mainit talaga yung ulo ko sa kanya. Like,
Okay,
at that
okay.
time,
So,
nagyoyosi pa ako.
So pagkatapos nun, the following day, anong pakiramdam mo?
So, sabi ko, kung sino man kung pag mag-host ako, kailangan, wala nang magaganon sa akin. Kasi na-imbiyer na talaga ako.
So naisip, okay, Monday, anong nasa isip mo?
Wala na siya sa isip ko. Erase siya. Erase siya talaga.
Okay, parating na ulit yung weekend.
So, the weekend came around.
Naisip mo siya yun?
Hindi talaga.
So out na talaga?
Out.
Okay.
I was mad at him. Mad ako talaga.
So naisip mo pa nga?
Well, no. I mean, parang at that time.
Magulo ah.
No. Ibig ko sabihin. Galit ako sa kanya dun sa... Galit
ginawa
ako dun
niya?
sa ginawa niya. Pero erase ka sa life ko.
So talaga, ang tanong dito is, na-erase ba talaga sa life mo? Kasi normally, pag may nakaaway ka ng Friday, kung walang bearing yon, pagdating ng Friday, nakalimutan mo may nakaaway ka ng Friday.
Actually, hindi ko siya naisip, to be honest. Hindi
Okay,
ko siya
ayan
naisip
na, okay.
during the week, to be honest.
Okay.
Pero,
Oh,
bumalik sila.
yun na.
Bumalik sila.
So
Lahat.
bumalik din lahat ng mga memories nung nangyari.
So,
the week
parating
before.
pa lang sila.
At
that time, naninigarilyo pa ako.
So nasa labas ka?
So, nasa labas pa ako, nag-yosi ako. Yung yosi ko buo pa. Hindi pa sila nakakarating ng restaurant. Lumiit yung yosi ko sa sobrang bilis ng shh, yung gano'n, sa sobrang bilis ko mag-smoke. Sabi ko, ayan na naman yung kupal.
Sinabi mo talaga yun?
Sabi ko talaga doon sa co-host ko, ayan na naman sila. Pero nung time na bumalik sila, nakaligo na sila.
Okay.
So, mukha na silang tao.
At bumalik sila.
Bumalik sila. And then, na-corner niya ako, one of the breaks, na-corner niya ako, sabi niya, uy, pasensya ka na.
Oh, so alam niya ginawa niya?
Oh, alam niya talaga yung move na ginawa niya.
Okay.
Pasensya ka na, inaasar lang talaga ako ng mga tropa ko. Sabi ko,
Wow!
Kaya talaga, and parang dead ma. So he sang again.
O, pinayagan mo na siya umakyat after that?
Kasama sa trabaho ko yun eh. So pinayagan ko na siyang kumanta siya ulit. Akala mo naman talaga singer. Kanta ng kanta. Akala mo singer. Pero pumanik siya ulit ng stage, pero hindi ko na siya in-interview. Like literally, who's the next singer? Oh, Ryan. Microphone. Like ganon. Parang, huyo ka nga. But I had that imbier na. Tapos, sabi
pero,
niya,
iniispatan mo na siya ng mga time na hindi pa rin.
Hindi talaga. And then, the reason why hindi ko pala siya ninispatan ng time na yun, I had a boyfriend.
Okay.
So I wasn't really checking him out.
Okay.
Nor was he checking me out.
Right.
Kasi may existent girl.
Yeah.
And then after that night, we became friends. If anything, we became really, really good friends after that. Parang, trumopa kami together. So, balik hangout.
Paano kayo trumopa dahil over 21 ka na?
Oh, over 21 ako.
Okay.
So, tropa na, ganyan. Pwede na ako maging friend. Pwede na ako sa ganun level. So, yun, naging friend na ulit. And then, may nangyari.
Ano nangyari?
May nangyari. So, parang, nagkayayaan. Tapos, nakalimutan ko may boyfriend ako. Nakalimutan siyang may girlfriend siya. Tapos nagkaroon ng Ryan Maui. That's it.
So, hiniwalay mo yung boyfriend mo?
Hiniwalayan ko muna naman. Hiniwalayan ko muna.
Okay.
Tapos, soon after, nagkaroon ng Ryan.
May nangyari, hiniwalayan mo, and then nagkaroon ng Ryan Maui.
Bilis. Ganon kabilis.
Kaya people think
It's a joke.
Na hindi, at saka na hindi magtatagal yung...
Kasi nga, I was going up in the industry. I was going up, and then parang it's just for show. Ganyan. And then Ryan being as chill as he is, it's not the personality is gonna jive.
But you know what? Click kayo ni Ryan because alam mo yung Ryan is okay being the Maui whisperer.
Yeah, he calms me down for real.
Yeah, di ba?
For reals. There's been a lot of times na parang I question myself kasi is it worth it's hard being a woman. It's really hard to exist as a woman. But then when you have someone behind you,
Right.
being not only your partner but also your friend and speaking behind you and honing you to be you.
Correct.
And then alam mo yun, parang hindi ka niya ina-outshine. At the same time, gusto rin niya ring ikaw mag-shine as you are. Support lang.
So, speaking of support, paano nyo sinusupport yung isa't isa? Kasi may ibang trip si Ryan.
Chill lang siyang tao talaga. Chill lang siyang. OA din siya sa pagka-chill. Sobrang chill.
Paano siya magalit?
Weird kaming mag-away eh. Weird,
Paano kayo mag-away?
Murahan.
Talaga? Labasan lang ng ines.
Oh, tapos na. Nasabi ko na yung... At naniniwala kasi kaming dalawa. This is something that I learned sa aming dalawa, pero na-impart din ng nanay ko sa akin. Huwag mo kasing pakinggan yung tono ng pananalita ko. Ang pakinggan mo kung anong sinasabi ko. So, minsan, ina mo ka! Sinabi ko na sa'yo! Maglaba ka kasi ang taas-taas na ng labada natin! Ang sinabi ko lang doon, tara maglaba tayo. Yun lang yun.
Kailangan practicing ko yun.
Huwag mong pakinggan.
Namimersonal ako eh. So,
Ay, mahirap yun.
I know.
May baggage.
Pag sinabi mo sa akin na, ang pogi-pogi mo!
Personalin mo minsan.
Yun na.
Try mo yun.
Feeling ko galit siya sa akin.
Hindi, pag nag-away ka. Pero hindi ako nang babato ng kung anik.
Okay, yeah.
Hindi kasi maganda yung hand-eye coordination ko eh. Kung
Oh
maganda
my God.
hand-eye ko, alam mo na.
So, walang physical?
Wala.
Okay.
Ano kasi, naniniwala po ako sa kasabihan. Hindi, bawal yun. No touch.
Okay.
No touch. Ganun talaga. Yun.
So, 15, going 15 na ba kayo? Or
Yes.
over 15?
Going 15.
Ang galing, no?
We lost our first child when I was 22.
So, before Garrett, meron...
There was one, pero hindi namin alam that we were pregnant when we were very young. It hurt just the same.
Of course.
Pero we didn't know kasi.
Okay, let's go back. Nag-UST ka. What brought you to the States?
My mom, she's a nurse. Tada!
So, you keep mentioning your mom. Is your dad with you?
Yes.
Okay, so mom, dad.
My mom and my dad. Pero kasi nauna si mami ko dito.
Okay.
Penetition siya ng hospital.
Right.
Soon after, nandito na kami. Pinili talaga.
Kayong tatlo?
So, my brother, yung pinaka-minor, siya lang ang may American accent sa amin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I try, guys. It's nothing. It's wala talaga eh. Yeah, pero ang kapatid ko may American accent. Sabi nga nung kapatid ko sa akin, Hate, how do you say home? D-E-P-O-T. Sabi ko, depot. How was I supposed to know?
Okay. So, nauna yung kapatid mo and then sumunod kayo ng daddy mo. How did it feel leaving the Philippines?
Pag-usapan natin yan.
Pag-usapan natin yan pagkatapos natin bumalik. Buti pa yung guest natin alam na magko-commercial break tayo. And we're back with Maui. And ang tanong ko kanina before the commercial break was, kala mo naman ang haba ng commercial break, ang ikli-ikli lang ng commercial natin. Amerika.
Yes.
Anong pakiramdam nung nalaman mong time to go?
Actually, I was very much in denial at the time kasi may jowa ako noon.
Yun ang gusto ko malaman.
May boyfriend ako noon.
Juicy ang mga kwento na ganyan eh. Dahil masakit yan eh.
Naniniwala ako noon sa kumbaga siya na.
Aha.
Akala ko yun. Noong time na yun, akala ko siya na.
Nanonood siya ngayon sa tingin mo?
Malamang hindi. Feeling ko talaga hindi kasi in-erase niya na rin ako sa life niya.
So how was it hard to how was it to say goodbye?
So I was very young, obviously. So at that time,
First year college, second year.
16,
So 16, 17,
17.
yeah.
Oo, so naniniwala ako nga na siya na. Ano mo yung ganung paniniwala?
Yeah.
So, sabi ko, sunod ka sa Amerika, ha?
Pero time out. Nung naging kayo, did he know na may na petisyonado ka?
Hindi din eh. Parang,
Hindi mo sinabi sa kanya?
hindi, parang it was no big deal. So there was no mention. Parang,
There was no big deal to you.
yeah, sa parents ko, obviously. Pero sa akin, kasi yung pag-college ko sa Philippines was a bargain. Sabi ko, kasi dito na ako dapat eh.
Yeah.
So, sabi nila, sige, pa-experience ko lang sa'yo ng 1 year ka.
So borrowed time yun.
Oo. So, extended
At hindi mo sinabi kay ex-jowa.
extended warranty. Last na yun, yeah. No more na. Tapos,
So dumating si boy sa buhay mo, hindi mo sinabi sa kanyang you were on borrowed time. Parang a walk to remember ang dating, di ba?
yeah, sort of, kind of, pero no one was sick. Parang ganun. Yeah.
Pero terminal.
Oo, terminal. Tapos, he was the one that said the long distance relationship isn't gonna work. Pero,
Sabi niya.
tapos, naghiwalay kami verbally. Sabi niya, this is
Over
it.
the phone.
No, before I left. It
Before
was
you left.
clear before I left. Pero mahal ko pa siya nung time na yun. Mahal ko
Right.
pa siya. Parang, kaya pa natin to. Ang allowance ko noon, kung nanonood ka,
Yan.
ang allowance ko noon was about $20 per week.
Napupunta lang sa
Phone card.
phone card.
Nagpo-phone
Wala
card.
pang hotel nung mga panahon.
Wala. Yung kung saan pa akong
Yeah.
Filipino
Yeah.
store
Paano ba kami lang
nagpupunta.
sarimanok.
Nag-phone card. Oo.
Yun din ang binibili ko dati.
Tapos nagbabasa ko noon papuntang college,
Wow.
papuntang school. Tapos yung babaunin ko, pambibili ko. Magbabaon na lang ako ng pagkain.
Alam mo kung saan ako nabibwisit? Naalala ko na yung sarimanok na yan kaya nag-hyperventilate ako.
Naalala ko rin yung naalala mo.
Ito mas matindi. Ito matindi to. So si Tiny nasa Pilipinas pa nun. Andito na ako nun. Pagdating ng 2 minutes, you have 2 minutes remaining.
Tapos yung binili mo, dapat hindi more pa. Parang,
Ngayon, pag nag-pause, sasabihin ni Tiny, 2 minutes ka na lang? Aha. So bigla maiiba yung conversation. Bigla akong aaway, ilalabas siya lahat doon. And then, plong! And
Goodbye.
then gabi na.
so
And then,
nararattle ka.
wala ka mabilan ng phone card.
O hindi, umabot naman ako sa online na bibili yun.
Okay.
Pero,
Kaya ako nag-hotel.
ano ba ako nun? Phone jack ba yun?
Magic Jack.
Magic jack, yeah. Nag-magic jack. Pero, wala din eh.
Yeah.
Wala, ignored niya na rin ako eh. Parang move on na siya. Kasi he was older than me din. Konting years lang naman. Pero
Right.
iba kasi sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
So parang move on na siya talaga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, nandito ka na. So finally, after that, nasarado mo na yung chapter ng Pinas. Tama?
It was a while. Nasarado ko na yung chapter ng Pinas. Pero yung chapter ni X, it was a while for me to accept na wala na siya. So parang there was a time ini-email ko pa siya, mahal pa kita, ganun-ganon. Tapos parang nag-let go na lang nung, alam mo yun, parang final na, pabu. Ryan na.
Hindi pa.
Hindi, yung kahit nagkaroon ako ng mga boyfriend dito, parang mag-email
Parang yung intensity was si ex sa Pinas tapos si Ryan na.
Oo,
Ganon.
ganon. Yung seryoso level, yun.
Now that you're here, do you think it was a good idea? Alam ko, of course, nandito si Ryan and nandito yung tatlong anak mo, but would you have wanted to stay in the Philippines?
That's a really good question. I asked myself that when I was 18. Kasi, wild pa yung utak ko noon. Gusto magbanda-banda, ganyan, kanta-kanta, ganyan. Feeling ko sisikat ako dun eh.
Bakit hindi, di ba?
Feeling ko, alam mo yun, yung performing arts, feeling ko ganon. So, parang feeling ko dun papunta yung career, pag-artista, yung ganyan. Pero nung 18, nagtrabaho ko sa Disneyland. Alam mo yung hat writer?
Yeah.
Yung nagtatahi dun sa likod na, ayun, nagganon ako.
Okay.
Ganon ako ng trabaho sa Disneyland. So, kasi hodang sumakit na yung braso ko sa kaganon dun sa...
So, araw-araw ka na sa Disneyland?
Oh yes, it's the happiest place on... Pangarap ko talaga yun and sabi ko talaga kung magkakaroon ako ng trabaho, Disneyland lang. Pangarap ko maging cashier. Yun na yung pangarap ko sa buhay. Yun na yung...
So, nag-stop ka mag-college?
Hindi. While college.
While college. And you took up what?
Klaseng English yun. While college.
Sumunod naman ako, di ba?
Nag-English na while college. Yan. So, habang college ako, Disneyland. Tapos, pumasok ako sa hotel business. Parang front desk supervisor ako sa isang...
Habang nagka-college?
Oo.
Anong kinukuha mo sa college?
Nurse, ano nga ba? Parang nursing na rin. Nursing na rin papunta. Kasi yun lang sabi ng nanay ko, yun lang ang babayaran ko. Pagka hindi ka nag-nurse. So, your mom's a nurse, gusto niya nurse ka rin? Smart din kasi si mami ko tsaka yung papa ko. Sabi parang, pagkatapos ka na,
gawin mo na kung ano gusto mo.
Oo, magpalit ka na lang. At least may fallback ka na.
Magandang fallback yun.
Kumbaga, like now, perfect time, pandemic. Wala talagang makakapalit sa mga nurses ngayon.
Kaya shout out sa mga frontliners.
Yes po.
Frontliners. My wife is a frontliner.
Yes, I cannot thank the frontliners enough. My brother's a nurse in the emergency room. And then
even your brother?
Yeah, ganun lang talaga deal ng magulang namin.
How about your dad?
My dad was a coder. So medical field din.
Yeah.
Medical field din. Tapos yung deal. Pagka tapos mo ng college, babayaran ko lang hanggang nurse mo. Tapos pagkatapos, bala ka na.
Mahirap ba mag-nursing?
Yes. Kasi pinuso ko siya eh. Nilagyan ko siya ng puso.
Okay.
Yun yung naging mahirap sa akin nun. Kasi, mahirap talaga ngayon. Kasi maraming tao pumapasok for paycheck.
Right.
And I'm unfortunately not one of them. I
Amen
really
to that.
genuinely
Amen to that.
care about my patients. I genuinely care about them to a point na, gumagastos ako ng sarili kong pera kung kunyari maglalambing sila. It's my birthday today. Papapizza ako. Para sa kanya lang. Yung ganun. Kasi, nandito tayo sa Amerika. Nagtrabaho ako sa long-term care. Tapos, kami na yung pamilya nila eh.
Yeah.
Wala sila talagang ibang visitors. Kami lang talaga. So, their secrets, their darkest thoughts, kami talaga yung nakakarinig. And then the times that they wanna cry.
And would you talk to them?
Yeah.
Kasi tanda mo, may mga CNA ka, di ba?
Yeah,
Yung Certified Nursing Assistants.
Yes.
Who normally sila yung talagang patient interaction and all that.
No, I was given the opportunity to be a treatment nurse. And when you're a treatment nurse, yung sa sugat yan eh.
Yeah.
Yung pagka ikaw ang nagpapagaling ng mga sugat. So, contrary to the pill passers, the other nurses, mabilis lang yung pacing nila eh.
Yes.
So, they pass the pill and then go. Ako kasi, kailangan lilinisin ko yung sugat.
Iba pa yun sa wound care nurse.
Yeah, that is it.
Oh,
The wound care nurse. That is the wound care nurse. So, mas matagal yung interaction ko with them. So, puso talaga. Minsan, yung pinaka-aray nila, yung kamay kong isa may ginagawa, tapos yung isa hawak ko kasi nasasaktan talaga sila.
Yeah.
Wala tayong magagawa. Masakit talaga yung process. Pero yung, alam mo yun, minsan talaga human touch, and it's needed. Pero ngayon, with COVID, you can't even do a high five. I'm even scared to shake hands with anyone.
Grabe, no?
Iba talaga ang COVID.
You know what? I'm understanding your story. And Disclaimer, hindi ako psychiatrist. Pero I'm understanding your story.
Mahirap intindihin yung story ko.
Actually, ang dali.
Huh?
I know. Kasi ang common denominator is your heart.
Ay.
And really, Maui, from boyfriend Pinas all the way to Ryan and everything in between, hanggang sa pagpapanganak mo kay Garrett, hanggang sa bunso mo, everything is hard. And doon ko nakikita kung paano ka nga talaga magiging susceptible sa depression.
Maybe.
Because
you give it all
you give it all.
I give it all.
Yeah.
Tsaka hindi, pagka pumapasok ka sa isang bagay, tulad dun sa business namin ngayon.
Yeah. All in ka eh.
Oo. Kasi naniniwala ako na when you do something, you do it well.
And tulad niyan, pag yung pag na nursing mo, I mean, hindi lahat ng tao makakapagtapos ng nursing. Si Heaven nga, pharmacology pa lang. Ayoko na, I quit.
Kanya-kanyang trip yan.
Yun na nga.
Kanya-kanyang trip yan. May nagsasabi nga sa akin that maybe nursing is really not for you. Maybe you're supposed to be in the arts. Maybe you're supposed to be in the performing arts. You're supposed to be marketing.
Wasn't that the plan? Hindi ba dapat yun ang gagawin mo after
That's what
nursing?
I wanted to do. But then I fell in love with the field. I fell in love with what I did. I do. I fell in love with the whole craft. It's may kulto kami. Kami lang nakakaintindi noon. Na kapag umiyak yung pasyente namin, automatic, labas mo lang yung kamay mo, holding hands, binigay mo na yung pagmamahal mo sa pasyente mo. Yun na yun.
Alam mo si Jaja, tatawag sa akin yung pag namatayan siya ng pasyente.
It never fails na masasaktan ka pa rin talaga every single time.
Yes.
Hanggang ngayon, pagka kunyari may patient kami na nag-pass away, pinagdadasal ko pa rin sila.
So are you still actively in the
field?
Yeah.
I'm still a nurse. Still a nurse, but because of what happened to me with the whole depression phase, I'm still on medical leave.
Yeah.
I'm still on medical leave. I'm not allowed to be on my own, unfortunately.
Which is good.
It's good because of the pandemic, pero it's not good mentally.
Hanggang kailan?
Well,
May re-evaluation.
Monthly may re-evaluation siya.
Right,
pero dito sa Amerika kasi may cut-off yan eh.
Yeah.
Kung ano lang yung pinagtrabaho mo, yun lang yung pwede nilang i-give sa'yo eh.
Correct.
So, mauubos din ang kaba ng bayan. Kailangan din nating ipagtrabaho yan.
Yun na nga eh, no?
Oo.
What's your forecast sa mga vaccine and all that stuff?
Alam mo ako, I'm a big believer of flu vaccine. Okay, naniniwala
Kasi may mga
ako.
anti-vac, right? May mga anti-vac tayo na...
Mahirap kalabanin ng mga anti-vac kasi strong-headed sila eh.
Yung mommy ng isa sa mga anak ko, anti-vaxxer.
So, anak mo bakuna?
Nang hindi niya nalalaman.
Hirap yan.
Hindi, pero nung natapos siya, sinabi ko na ako, pinabakunahan ko.
Yeah, but I'm a firm believer of vaccine kasi the illness will be there. So, pasok mo na sa katawan mo ng konti. Pasok mo na ng konti.
Okay.
Para marunong na lumaban yung katawan mo. But, going COVID, okay?
Right.
It hasn't been tested. There hasn't been enough trials. So, medyo iffy pa ako now.
Grabe, no?
Medyo iffy pa ako now. Now, parang nakakatakot pa.
Do you and Ryan talk about it, yung vaccine?
Yeah, hindi siya naniniwala. Kasi sa Pilipinas, not sa mga bata we're talking about the flu vaccine,
right.
Period. Sa Pilipinas kasi pag tinrangkaso ka lang, ligo mo lang yan, tapos na yan eh. Di ba? Parang ganon.
Pero iba yung trangkaso rito. Alam mo ba, okay, pareho kami ni Ryan sa pag-iisip ng ganyan. Trangkaso, iligo mo yan. To the point na nung nakita ko si Jaja trinangkaso, na talagang nakaratay sa higaan. Sabi, ang reaction ko pa was, ang OA mo naman.
Yeah, ganyan.
And then si Brian, kaibigan ko si Brian, nagkatrangkaso parang si Jaja. Sabi ko, doon ko sa kanya, kasi sa Pilipinas, yung iligo, sabi niya, bro, iba to. Ito yung talagang trangkaso.
Pag tumama, di ba?
Sabi ko, ano yung nasa Pilipinas? Wala yun.
Wala lang yun.
Tapos tinamaan ako nung nakuha nila na achy pains. Sabi sa akin ni Jaja,
Tayo.
Pag di ka bumangon dyan, iligo mo yan. Hindi ako makabangon.
Totoo.
To the point na yung balat mo pag ginaganon, masakit.
Masakit. Tapos pag dumampi sa'yo ang tubig, masakit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yun pala ang flu na sinasabi nila.
Yes.
Nung natikman ko rin the following year,
Diba?
Nagpatusok na ako.
Flu vaccine. Naniniwala ako dyan kasi nga, maraming namamatay dyan.
Kasi hindi ko ma-comprehend na paano ka mamamatay sa flu pag may flu ako sa Pilipinas, magbabasketball pa ako.
Yun, ganun. Tapos parang gym ko lang yan, tapos na.
Hindi pala flu yun.
Hindi. Actually, umabot pa sa point na before, pumapasok ako kahit masama na pakiramdam ko, yung ganun. Kasi love mo talaga yung ginagawa mo. Hindi pala maganda yun.
Oh, ikaw nagkukos ng outbreak.
So, kumakalat lang sila. Ako magaling na sila, hindi pa.
Alam mo yun, nung nagka-COVID ako, ganun yung pakiramdam. Parang matinding flu.
Mas.
Hindi. Well, I was fortunate enough kasi okay, ito yung observation ko, no? It's the flu with more respiratory symptoms, challenges. Or hindi challenges, exposure.
Mahirap kasi there's very little research. We've only had COVID for a year.
Yeah.
So there's hearsay pa lang eh. I mean, there's facts now.
Yeah.
There's obvious facts that, na nabubuhay ang mga tao because of the facts that we have now. Pero this is just a year old.
Mahirap.
It's just a year old.
Nakaka-experience, up to this day, nakaka-experience ako ng post-acute COVID.
Uy, meron talaga. Yeah. Yung bigat ng dibdib.
Mamaya papakita ko siya. Alam ni Michael Abad, na-confine ako after COVID. After COVID, na-confine ako just because my heart rate at rest shot to 147.
Alam ko yung feeling yan. It was scary. Talaga,
parang lalabas yung and sabi ng doktor, that's a post-COVID symptom.
Maraming tao ang hindi nagseseryoso sa COVID, unfortunately, kasi they're okay. Pero it doesn't mean na pwede nilang hindi i-take it seriously. Kasi
I agree.
merong mga madaling mas magkasakit.
Parang Russian roulette yan eh. You know
Yes.
what? Okay, ito last time pinag-uusapan namin. So may mga taong naniniryoso sa COVID, may mga taong hindi seryoso sa COVID, right? And that's playing Russian roulette.
Yes.
Ang point namin kagabi ni na Jaja, kasi sina Brian were here dahil nagpa-test si Brian and all. So, nabibili na nga pala sa Costco yung mga testing kits.
Uy, may mga libre sa kanto.
Talaga.
Free.
Mga
You just
testing
have to know where.
So eto na, ang pinag-uusapan namin ni na Brian, and I guess people can take note is, if you play Russian roulette, there's a chance that you will die.
Yes.
So in order for you to live, don't play Russian roulette.
Yeah, so don't risk yourself. Like, imagine kami ngayon for lack of a better term, naglalako kami ng binibenta namin. So we have to be out. We're selling food, we're selling our products.
Right.
So we meet people.
Exposed.
There's exposure there. Do we take it lightly? No. We touch you, hand sanitizer agad. Like, we can't, kasi may mga bata.
Yeah.
Kung hindi man kami, sila ang ma-infect, or may mangyari sa aming, saan pupulutin yung mga bata? Hati ang magulang? Isa lang ang magulang? I mean,
ang hirap.
Ang hirap isipin. Buti sana kung malaki life insurance niya.
Oh my God. yung isang anak ko, yung 12-year-old ko, sabi ni Jaja, you have COVID. Sabi niya, for real?
He had.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So sabi niya, for real? Yeah. Can I see the result? Pinakita ni Jaja yung result. Sabi niya, can you text this to me? Sabi ni Jaja, why do you want me to text it to you?
Papagkalat niya.
I want to send it to my friends. This is cool.
It's cool. No, nag-school na ba sila?
Homeschool.
Okay. Kasi sa Orange County, half-half na.
I know, dito sa San Gabriel, saka sa Montebello, meron na.
Yeah, so fortunately sa school ng mga anak ko, nag-back out sila kasi after the holidays, they figured people are gonna get together during the holidays.
Yes.
It's inevitable na merong magkaka-COVID sa mga bata. So after school na lang silang magbabalik after na ma-quarantine yung mga bata, which is a good thing. Pero part of Anaheim, meron ng nagsuschool and kids test positive and
I know.
thankfully they're okay. And Anaheim, mataas ang rate kasi sa Anaheim kasi ang daming hospital dun sa amin.
Yun, dikit-dikit, di ba? Lalo sa Buena Park.
Yes,
Dikit-dikit
tabi-tabi kami sa mga nursing home. So ang rate talaga, if you're looking at rates, yes, mataas po sa amin. Mataas. Kasi ang dami po naming nursing home, ang dami po naming hospital, ang daming...
Now, do higher rates or cases correlate to higher death rates?
No, I read it last night. Nax! Educated! I read it last night. We only have one death in Anaheim out of the 14,000 within the last period of testing.
One death too many,
One.
but still, you know.
There shouldn't be any death with this, but
at
unfortunately,
least,
we have one. There shouldn't be a loss of life for this.
Hopefully, no, naka-ready ka na ba sa pagpe-perform ulit live? Are you ready?
Alam mo, minsan nag-aano ko sa Instagram, kumakanta-kanta ako. May ganito ako sa
Hindi naman
bahay.
live yun eh.
May ganito ako sa bahay. So feeling ko, kapag yung totoo na, may excite na ako ulit. Feeling ko may excitement. Iba yung kilig na...
Yeah, face-to-face and all that.
Oo yung pag may tao, lalo na pag pumapalakpak
Pag
sila
naririnig
sa'yo.
mo yung palakpakan.
Nakaka-addict.
Yes.
Nakaka-addict. Minsan, kaming apat, nag-uusap-usap kami, okay lang tayo magla-live, Zoom live, ganyan. Minsan nakakatawa kami sa online kasi wala kaming kwentang kausap, pero nakakatawa pala sa tao.
I know.
Pero masarap yung feeling na ikaw yung nagpapatawa.
Album.
Photo album.
Yun ang ibig sabihin. People think na parang imposible, di ba? Pero naisip mo ba?
Nung bata ako.
Ngayon?
Hindi ko alam. Kasi parang hindi naman ako worth. Parang hindi naman ako...
Says who?
Me.
Okay.
Me lang. Parang I'm not that level. Marunong ako kumanta pero hindi ako magaling kumanta in my head. Yan lang. Marunong lang. Hindi ako...
Hindi ko ma-digest yung sinasabi ni Maui dahil ako, I am impressed with your talent.
Oy, thank you.
So, ang sinasabi ko is, nasa Amerika na tayo. We have the tools to make songs, to record songs.
Oo.
Hindi mo ba naiisip na gumawa ng album?
Hindi ako marunong.
Okay, good.
Hindi ako marunong.
Yun, i-extend ko yung commitment na yun. If you guys are willing, let's start with a song.
I'm down, Charlie Brown.
Ako actually, iniisip ko nga like Sina Joseph, ganyan. Ang iniisip ko is to do an album featuring all of you guys, giving you guys one song na pwede nyong kantahin to be on that album.
Yeah,
to start there, di ba?
Nung bata-bata pa ako, pasikat pa lang yung American Idol, they kept on telling me, Maui, sali ka.
Ba't di ka sumali?
Maya ako, kasi nga like I said, marunong lang ako kumanta, hindi ako magaling kumanta in my head. In my head.
Okay, so now let's bring it back home, no? Ang daming pinuntahan ng kwentuhan natin, but we'll bring it back to the stage sa Caliwalk. Ito yung tatlong kaibigan mo na binabalagoong ka. When did you know na you could stand up on your own 2 feet and still be the girl in the crowd?
Ano daw yung tanong? Hindi. When did I know that I could be me? It just happened. There was never a telltale.
Talaga marunong ka ng...
I guess there was a point when, dati kasi ang nagpa-private events lang, si Joseph lang. And then, this is Joseph Gelito we're talking about.
Nag-guest na rin si Joseph Gelito rito, by the way. We'll post the
link. So, in the beginning, it was just him na nagpa-private party. Nung umabot siguro sa point na, Maui, ikaw nga mag-host ng event namin. Ikaw nga yung magganito. Maui, gusto namin ng babae. And then, pakonti-konti, mag-isa na ako. Lumalayo na ako, nakakaabot na ako ng LA mag-isa.
May racket ka na.
Oo, kumikita na ako, man. Ching-ching na yun. Ang laking pera kaya ng private gig.
Yeah.
Oo, tapos, si Joseph ang magmamarket. Siya ang manager.
Siya manager mo?
Oo, namin, lahat.
Mautak na robot.
Oo, so, pero sa amin direkta ang anda. Sa amin direkta ang pay.
So ikaw ang mag-abot sa kanya ng walang pa-thank you?
Wala. Ano
Hoy,
lang
may
yun?
understood yun, may pa-thank you dapat yun.
Hoy, alam mo, hindi kami ganun. Sa Caliwalk, ang nakakatawa sa amin, pagka tip. Dun lang.
Okay.
Dun lang kami nagkakaano-ano.
Hati-hati.
Kasi pag-usapan daw natin yan sa pagbabalik na!
Alam ng Paco's Place. And we're back. Pinag-uusapan natin bago mag-commercial break, tips.
Tip! My gosh, yeah.
Okay.
So when you're in the entertainment field, meron pa ng mga hidden languages yan.
Explain natin sa audience.
Yeah, so pag nagpe-perform kami, meron kaming tinatawag na by request.
Oh.
Yung by request namin, it's spelled B-U-Y. Request.
By request.
You buy
the
your
request.
request. Oo, syempre. Syempre, ano yan?
By levels, by tier.
Oo, may tier yan. Pag $5, mga tipong bahay kubo level yan. Mga ganyan, yung mga generic novelty songs.
Aha.
Pagka $10 mo, pwede yung mga Shania Twain.
Yun.
Mga mabababang banatan. Pero pag 100 mo yan, ano yan, Regine Velasquez level yan.
Talagang belting na yan, belting.
Oo, ibibigay ko lahat.
Ikaw ba bumibirit ka rin?
Noong unang panahon.
Talagang birit queen ka rin.
Birit baby.
Birit baby. Okay.
Birit baby. Kami ni Justine ang bumibirit sa Kaliwok. So, may hidden language nga pala yan. So, meron kami tip basket, no? So, yung tip basket na yun, amin yun 4. Hati yun. Talagang nakakwadra yun, 4 kami. Pero pala, pag inabot pala sa kamay mo ang tip, iyo yun. Ako ang tanga-tanga ko nung una.
Okay.
Nilalagay ko yung akin doon.
So, inaabot na sa'yo personally?
Sa kamay, oo. Ako naman, nilalagay ko sa basket hanggang nung lumaon na. Ay, teka, papadaig ba ako?
Wait, is that fair in your opinion?
Oo naman. Ako naghirap eh. Ako kumante.
Okay.
Oo naman.
Ngayon, kung naging part ka ng banda.
Naging part ako ng banda.
So, pag inabot sa kamay mo, is it fair?
Hindi. Dami namin eh. Hindi naman ako makakakanta kung wala yung mga kabanda ko.
Ang galing, no? At least naiisip mo na gano'n.
Oo. Kaya lang talaga, nung nagbanda ko, pero feeling ko, wala akong silbi. Kasi, okay, dalahan ang pangalan ng banda ko noon, Rush Doll.
Okay.
Siyempre, ang kantahan namin noon, variety.
Right.
Do you believe? Mga ganyan.
Yeah.
Puro,
Or 90s ang bitaw.
yes! Ganun ang cover songs, mga hirit namin noon. And then we'll put a twist kasi nga mataas ang boses ko noon.
Yeah.
So kaya nating baliin. So anyway, feeling ko wala akong silbi kasi ang dala-dala ko lang talaga boses ko. Silang lahat, ang dami-dami nilang dala, yung drummer, ang dami-daming bit-bit. Bago pa yung sound check, ang tagal-tagal. Dung. Ako nandun sa gilid. Wala akong silbi. Hindi ako makatulong kasi I don't know how.
Feeling mo yon.
Hindi ako marunong mag-help.
Pero yun ang feeling mo, wala kang silbi.
Oo. Until mag-show na.
But then again, that's where it boils down to.
Yeah, pag nag-show na, doon na. I give it all.
At kaya mo silang dalhin.
Siyempre. At saka pagka nagpe-perform, hindi pwedeng pucho.
You know what, nakakatawa nga eh. Until nung time na may show kami sa San Francisco, hindi pwede si Jonathan Buencamino. So ako nag-front.
Ay, saya.
So si Brian ang nag-drums, ako ang kumanta. Now, it was the most boring trip to San Francisco.
Kasi,
Hindi ako nagsasalita.
you were saving your...
I was saving my voice. And doon ko lang naintindihan kung bakit tahimik si Jonathan.
Tahimik naman talaga si Jonathan.
Tahimik talaga
in
si Jonathan
general.
Buencamino. Pero makulit si Jonathan Buencamino
After na lang.
after the show. And sabi ko, oh my God, napaka-boring. Kaya pala, pag nasa tour kami, Jonathan Buencamino gets his own room.
Quiet.
Wala siyang roommate. I see to it na wala siyang roommate.
Kasi he needs his inner peace.
Not really that. That too, but not really that. Imagine mo kung may ka-roommate siyang isa sa amin. Mauuwi sa kwentuhan yun eh. Jonathan's a nice person.
Oo. Siyempre, sasakyan niya yung trip ng kwentuhan, right?
Right.
Di naman niya pwedeng sabihin, talk to you later.
Tutulog ka matulog. So, sabi ko, you know what, bigyan natin si Jonathan Buencamino ng sariling kwarto.
Alam mo,
para...
thank you naman kay God kasi hindi ako masyadong naapektuhan ng daldal before a show.
Galing, no?
If anything,
nagpa-warm up siya ng...
nagigising siya all the more. Di ba sabi ko kanina, wala akong kwentang kausap kapag wala akong kape.
Yes.
So pagka nakapagkape na ako, okay na ako. Shoot na ako dyan. Let's go.
Ang galing.
Party.
Okay, speaking of kape, do you drink?
No.
Do you smoke?
No.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No more. Drugs.
No din. I did. I did. Ay, yung nanay at tatay ko.
So, ibig sabihin talagang
Testing.
maturity.
Hindi ako Hindi
ka na-addict.
Hindi ako nag-addict. Nag-try.
Yes.
Para naman masabi ko in my lifetime. Kasi may mga anak ako.
Right.
Parang pag kunyari, umuwi silang sabog.
Alam mo.
Alam ko. Hindi ako syunga-syunga na, At saka kasi ito number one ha. Ibabalik natin dito sa kay Ryan ha.
Ryan.
Hindi talaga siya nagaganyan.
Which is good.
In his lifetime, he has been exposed to many different types of illicit drugs by other people, but not him. So, nung nag-try ako, nung in-experience ko, I was very open. I have this in my system. Let me know if I'm acting stupid. And then the minute that I acted stupid, tara, uwi na tayo. Ganon
So,
siya.
yung ang ganda ng relationship nyo because open kayo sa isa't isa.
I have to be. He's gonna save my ass. Yeah, he's
Anong advice mo sa mga newlyweds?
You be you, but also accept him for being him. Don't change him. He's not gonna change.
Alam mo, kailangan palakpakan tayong lahat dun sa part na yon ha. Ba't ako lang ang mag-isa pumapalakpakan natin lahat yun? Hindi. Okay. Ulitin natin yon. Hindi pa tayo ending dahil ang ganda nung sinabi mo because
Hashtag ba yan?
pinipreach ko yan eh. Na hindi pwedeng mag-compromise sa isang relationship. Again, bago mo
Teka lang, nag-isip ako doon
Wag, bago mo tapakan yung sinabi ko. Bago mo tapakan yung sinabi ko, you cannot be you and you cannot accept the person for who he is if there is compromise. Tandaan mo yun.
Teka lang, edit natin yun. I don't think the word is compromise.
Kaya nga, so I go back.
Yun na nga.
When people say...
In English mo kasi.
Hindi. Pag sinabi kasi, I've been through failed marriages, di ba? And ang bintang nila sa akin palagi is, you have to compromise. And ang sinasabi ko, there is no compromise in a relationship.
There's acceptance. How about that?
That's not a compromise.
Iba nga yung spelling. Iniba na.
Hindi, kasi ang compromise is you have to give up a part of you.
No, I've never given up a part of me.
Exactly. So 100% ka because you be you.
But you also have to accept. Ang galing.
The other person. Di ba? Palakpakan yun eh. Yun yung ibig ko sabihin ng, kaya nga pag sinabing, anong advice na may bibigay mo? Sinasabi ko, don't compromise.
Don't get me wrong ha. Ryan and I have gone through so much struggles.
Of course.
There have been times na gusto niyang sakalin ako at gusto ko rin sakalin.
Of course. That's
siya.
part of accepting eh.
Even more than the word sakal. But there have been times.
And you know why, right? I'll tell you why.
Bakit daw?
Metaphorically speaking, kung ito yung mamon, pag pinalunok sa iyo yan, ng buo, kailangan lunukin mo ng buo.
Hirap.
Pero kailangan mo lunukin ng buo, kaya gusto mo lang iluwa, di ba?
Aha.
Ang compromise niyan is magtatanggal ka ng konting piraso ng mamon para lumiit. Mas madali lunukin.
Minsan, pag malaki rin, kaya mo rin kainin. Charot. Alam mo na.
So,
alam mo na.
So, going back, painom nga ng tubig.
Nako. Na-choke siya doon, mga kaibigan. COVID in the house. Charot. Joke
Hindi.
lang.
Kaya nga nakakatuwa kasi kayo, ang nakikita ko sa inyong dalawa ni Ryan, sobrang solid nga.
Kailangan eh. Kasi tanggap niya ako, tanggap ko siya. Wala kaming choice. Kundi at the end of the day, like, honestly speaking, I don't remember the last time he and I went on a date. Honestly.
Ryan, if you're watching, which I know you're watching, you watching us, parang meta yan, ano? I-date mo yung asawa mo.
You know what? I'm not asking for it.
Hindi, kasasabi mo lang eh.
No, I don't remember the last time we went on a date.
Oh no, kailangan natin i-remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. Kasi iba yung prioridad namin ngayon.
Yeah.
Nasa ibang level kami ngayon. There will come a time na, siguro pag uwi namin ngayon, solo namin yung isa't isa, pwedeng...
I know, wala nga pala ang
Wala kaming mga anak ngayon. Yun yung solo time, pero quiet time din yun eh.
Yeah.
So, alam mo yun, parang, again, we're very chill people. I'm more of the, ako yung manager, siya yung may-ari ng bahay. How about that?
Pwede. Kumbaga siya, ganun siya. Ikaw ang implementer nung...
Yes.
Now, bago natin i-end ito, sino si Maui?
In several words, no? I am family woman. I believe in God. I believe in the existence of a God. Maui's a human being. Just a generic human being. Na cute. No. Si Maui all in. Yun, all in si Maui.
No? Yun. Feeling ko tuloy, and you know what? When you're all in 100%, you make no apologies eh.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Pag binigay mo eh.
Di ba?
Pag mahal mo. Pero pag galit ako sa'yo, di na tayo bate.
All in din eh.
Oo. Di na tayo bate. I'm a Scorpio.
Oh, matindi.
Yeah, forget you.
Well, anyway, Maui, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you
Oh my God.
so much.
Nakakatuwa. Don't forget to subscribe.
Tatay Rice, thank you so much. Please follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Post the link sa baba. May link tayo.